These guys, to me, are jerks.
I didn't even like it.
How's it going, boys? Today we'll be showing off our builds to you guys. Builds in NHL 19 are basically just augmentations of like your own abilities and strengths. They're not gonna suddenly transform you into a top player. They're not gonna make you like 10 times better than you already were. They basically just have their own strengths, and you need to figure out how those strengths apply to your own game and how you can use them to make your skater as good as possible. So that's what I'm going to be showcasing off for you guys today. I'm going to start off with my own build. Alright, so I run a 5'10" dangler class. I have my weight set to 163 pounds just because if I increase it any further, it'll go down to 88 speed. So I have it set to 163. Right-handed shot. Handiness with this class doesn't matter. Right hand, just what I'm most comfortable with. Primary trait set to quick first step 2. Secondary, quick wrister 2. Specialty is the marathon man. Secondary and specialty, these are pretty personalized. You can use whichever one you want for this class. Primary trait is pretty necessary though, because this class is basically speed as a weapon. That is basically what the dangler class is. It's your ability. It takes your ability to read the play, read and react to it, and turn it into an offensive opportunity for your team. And I feel here is where dangler is the most misunderstood class in the game, in the sense that a lot of people who use this class think it's a playmaking passing class because they look at it and they see the 83 shot accuracy and the 79 shot power, and they just automatically assume, well, I gotta pass. But in actuality, the dangler class is a goal scoring class. Its passing rating is only 2, not the greatest ever, and it revolves around being able to get to high scoring areas utilizing its speed and its hands. And then once you get to the high scoring areas like the slot or a breakaway or in around the net, your shot rating no longer matters. It's not about the rating, it's about where you are on the ice, and you should be able to bury regardless of what overall shot accuracy and power you have. So to recap, this class revolves around being able to utilize speed as a weapon by being able to read and react to the play and being able to get to those high scoring areas, and once you get there, being able to finish. I want to give each class an NHL comparison so that you know who your class is modeled after, who your play style is modeled after. For this class, due to its insane speed and acceleration, its NHL comparison for me would have to be Mcdavid. Now, obviously, it's not as overpowered as Mcdavid, but the play style is the same. The ability to utilize that speed as an absolute weapon, the ability to turn nothing into something, and how dangerous it can become if you give it too much open ice during the neutral zone, and the kind of impact it can have on the game. Alright, now we're going to move on to Tyler's class. He runs a 6-foot sniper, 174 pounds. He's a right-handed shot. I feel with the sniper class, handiness does matter a little bit, but he snipes just fine, and I believe sniping is a little easier with lefties anyway, so for this class I think you're good. Primary trait, quick first step 2 for that speed. Secondary trait, quick wrister 2, get both wrist shots up to 92. And third specialty is the marathon man. When people see sniper class, they assume its sole purpose is just a glitch goal on computer goalies, and honestly I don't think this could be any further from the truth. You can glitch with literally any class in the game. You can do it with Enforcer, Dangler. The only thing having a good shot allows you to do is glitch from a little further out, but the whole point of the sniper class and the way Tyler utilizes it is it allows you to pick corners and make yourself a legitimate goal scoring threat, be it human or computer goalies. It all depends on where the goalie is on his angle, and you have to learn how to recognize to shoot where the goalie's not. There is no set corner like on a glitch goal. You have to learn how to pick the corners, and what differentiates that from glitch goals is the fact that there's no set spot you're going to. You can have your favorite spots, but it all depends on the goalie's angle to you and the puck. You're not going to come down the right wing and automatically go, alright, I'm going top corner. It all depends on where the goalie is at, his depth, and the more you use this class, the more you'll get adjusted to looking at the goalie instead of at yourself when you're shooting, and you'll learn which corners are open and which ones aren't. This is a build that I've seen personally top clubs struggle a lot with. One of the big reasons with that is they're all used to guarding glitch goals. Like, they know the areas where people can glitch goal, and all they do is like, all right, we're going to shut those areas down. They can't glitch. We're fine. Then Tyler goes and snipes on them from a non-glitching area. It's just a pure snipe, and it catches them off guard because they're not used to having to guard that spot. But Tyler doesn't need to go to those areas to snipe. That's what makes this class so dangerous in the hands of someone who's willing to shoot. But this class isn't for everyone. You have to be willing to shoot. That doesn't mean 4 shots from literally everywhere, but if the shot is open, the shooting lane is there, you take it. You're looking to shoot first, pass second. There's no set amount of shots you should be getting, but if you're looking off shots because you're not confident in going in, then you're not utilizing this class properly. And lastly, with this class, it has a fantastic two-way game. You're 6 feet tall. You can still engage in the physical side of the game. It's a very, very dangerous weapon in the right hands. Top clubs have to respect it. It's so annoying to play against. And finally, for its NHL comparison, I got to go with the future Hall of Famer, Marian Hossa, an elite 500 goal scorer, one of the greatest two-way wingers of all time, if not the greatest. He's big, 6 feet. He always performed well in the playoffs because he was able to get to those areas and pick corners on goalies due to his size, his speed. This class reflects a lot of Hossa's game in it, and it is just as lethal in the right hands. Alright, now we're going to move on to Keefe's class. He runs a puck-moving defenseman, 6 feet, 187 pounds, right-handed shot. Primary trait is core balance 2, secondary trait, beast mode 2, and his specialty, of course, Marathon Man. Now, defensemen in general don't use a lot of stamina, so Marathon Man probably isn't necessary to use as a specialty unless you like to jump up in the rush, and that's one of the things this class specializes in. Right off the bat, you're going to see this class doesn't have the greatest shot, 77 power, 75 accuracy, but the whole point of this class is to be a quick defenseman who can move in and out of the rush by picking his spots wisely, and once he gets it, the 92 puck control ensures that EA isn't going to voodoo the puck off his stick, because if you get caught in the rush, especially at a high level, the other team will transition it the other way in a second, and it's going to be an odd man, usually a 2-on-1. It's probably going to result in a goal. So when you're jumping in the rush, you need to be absolutely certain that the time is right to go, and you need to be very careful about picking your spots of when to go. And that's why having the decrease in shot accuracy and power is worth it for that extra bit of puck control, just to ensure that your skater isn't going to lose it at inopportune times. This class revolves around being an agile, fast defenseman who's a great skater, but still tall enough and heavy enough to be able to engage in the physical aspect of the game so he doesn't get shoved around the D zone. Now, because you aren't exactly the heaviest skater, this means that you're going to need to do things a little differently in the D zone. All classes in the D zone should do this regardless of height or weight, but it especially holds true when you're smaller and can get shoved around a bit. You're going to need to make sure you're always between the skater you're guarding and the puck, and you're facing the play. If you just tap L2 while the other team has the puck, your skater will automatically face the play. And the reason you do that is because if you're facing away from the play, then the cross-crease pass can go through your stick because you don't have the greatest stick rating in the game. Defensive defensemen kind of get away with not doing it, but you should always be facing the play. This holds true for every class in the game, but especially if you have a lower stick rating, always be facing the puck. That way your class doesn't get caught off guard. Now, in exchange for being slightly lighter and not having as great of a stick, you get the 87 overall passing rating, and you have fantastic skating ability. This allows you to buy time for yourself in the D zone and always be ready to hit your teammates for a stretch pass down the ice. You'll be able to get your team from miserable time in the D zone off to an odd man rush in the blink of an eye. This does require you to be comfortable enough in your skater to know what you're going to do with the puck, because you have to be looking at your teammates, where they're going down the ice, at what angle they're taking, so you can pass it to them. Generally, for stretch passes, you're going to need to use R1 just to get it over other people's sticks, because you don't want to be turning it over in the middle of the ice or wherever you're saucing it to. This is the kind of class that can quietly win your team a game. It's not going to go out there. You're not going to have the big Subban clap bomb. It's not going to be a huge one-time blast. It's going to win your team the game. This is a class that can control the tempo and the flow of a game. If you want it to be a run and gun, odd man rushes left and right, you can make that sort of game. If you want to slow it down, trap things up, this class has that ability as well. It is such a well-rounded two-way class, and that's why for its NHL comparison, you gotta go with two-time Norris Trophy winner, three-time Stanley Cup champion, and one-time Conn Smythe winner Duncan Keith, just because of his ability to escape is so similar to this class with his fantastic skating ability. He's tall enough to engage in the physical side of the game if he wants to, just like this class. Not the greatest shot, but the way he controls the flow of the game makes it so that he doesn't need to have that big bomb to have a huge impact on the game. He can hit his teammates with a stretch pass. He can skate it up the ice himself if he needs to. He can make plays in any area of the ice. And while he might not always end up on the score sheet, I can guarantee you the Hawks don't have a single one of those 3 cups to their name if not for this man, similarly to how we aren't a top 100 club without Keith and his class patrolling the blue. Next up we got Austin. He runs a playmaker class at 5'10", 172 pounds, right-handed shot. Primary trait is quick first step 2, secondary trait is quick wrister 2, and for his specialty he utilizes rubber man. For those who don't know, it basically negates the amount of stamina you lose when you're hit. It's fantastic for smaller classes, and it is amazing for ones. I highly recommend it for anyone who runs a small class in ones. But anyway, this class this class is so insanely well-rounded offensively, it's ridiculous. It's 172 pounds, so it's a little bit light, but its speed is insane. It has a fantastic shot. Its passing is up at 90, and its puck control is 88. This class has literally every offensive weapon you need in this game in order to score, but its main strength revolves around passing and making plays. The reason for this is because the passing rating is 90 overall. That means 9 times out of 10 the pass is going to go where you want it to go, even in high pressure situations, and it's going to get there very fast. 90 overall passing charges up very quickly, which makes it difficult for defensemen to pick off. Whereas if you had an 82 overall passing rating, your pass would only go where you want it 8 out of 10 times, and when it did go there, it would be slower and easier for defensemen to pick up. Now, this doesn't mean with a 90 overall passing that you can just force cross-crease passes through, nor should you be able to. But it does mean that if the passing lane is there, you recognize it, and you make the pass, it will get through to your target. Another reason this class is so well balanced offensively is due to its shot. You're obviously looking to pass first with this class, but if people start to cheat to the passing options because they recognize you're a playmaker, that's when the shooting lane opens up, and you can pick corners with this class's shot. And thanks to its speed, it can utilize speed and acceleration as a weapon, similarly to how my class can. The only difference is this class doesn't need to get to those high scoring areas in order to be a viable threat. It just needs to find its teammates in those areas. And if the opportunity presents itself, it can get to those areas itself if people back off and tend to give you too much room because they're cheating over to the pass. Due to its wide arsenal of weapons, this class's NHL comparison has got to be our Timmy Panarin of the Columbus Blue Jackets, simply because he can do it all offensively. He can snipe, he can dangle, he can pass, he can shoot. He looks to pass first, similarly to this class, but it's not the option that he's restricted to. He can literally go for whatever, and the same applies to this class. If you need to bust out a toe drag one-on-one situation, this class can do it. It has the puck control and the deking. It has the shot to generate a pass-off pad option. You can burn people wide with speed. You can pull up and pass. You can do literally anything offensively with this class, and that's why it's so balanced. If I had to recommend one for beginners, this would probably be it. To people who are newer to Chell, because it's something you can start out with to get comfortable with. And even once you get better at the game, it'll still hold up against higher level opponents. It's one of the best builds in the game, and it's fantastic for all levels of use. We have Naterade's build. He runs a dangler class, 5'7", 190 pounds, right-handed shot. Quick first step 2, primary trait. Secondary trait is tight turns 2. Specialty is the quick release. this this class is interesting. I would not recommend using this class unless you are very advanced at the game and have a firm understanding of L2 dangles and the mechanics behind them. That is solely what this class is based around, is having insane agility that allows you to weave in and out of everywhere on the ice, like just pirouette like a ballerina up and down the ice. It's 5'7", so it's agile enough to be able to do tight turns and explode out of them. It's 190 pounds, allowing it to bully other dangler classes, even if they're a bit taller. Its shot isn't the greatest, but you can buy so much open ice with this class if used properly. It is ridiculous. And it more than makes up for this class's lack of an elite shot. With its 90 DG and 86 puck control, you're not going to lose the puck on any of the L2 dangles. You're going to be able to possess it, control it, and protect it. And whenever you need to hit an L1 to explode into the middle of the ice, it'll be there as an option. It still has 90 acceleration, even though it has the tight turns 2 specialty. So you can still explode out of the L2 with that quick first step and burn around someone if you catch them falling asleep. As far as this class's NHL comparison goes, I had a tough time drawing it up, but due to his uncanny ability to protect the puck, I'm going to give this class's NHL comparison as Sidney Crosby, just because they both share that insane puck protection ability. Now granted, Crosby doesn't do it by teleporting left and right down the ice, but the result and the idea behind it is the same. They both shield their bodies from the puck carrier and force the opposition to be drawn into them, creating open ice for the rest of his teammates. That'll wrap it up for this video. I plan on doing more videos like these in the future, where I break down things we as a top club do to hopefully help the rest of you guys improve and grow, and so that this community as a whole can evolve and we can make the next game of Chell that much better. If you enjoyed this content, be sure to like and subscribe. Helps keep pushing the channel forward, and I will see you boys in the next video.